Diana Herasim is a 15-year-old exchange student from Ukraine who came to America in August to attend Middlebury Union High School for her junior year. She earned a prestigious Flex Scholarship, which stands for Future Leaders Exchange Program. Out of 10,000 applicants worldwide, she was one of only 200 students accepted.
The person who comes here for 1 year all alone should be really strong mentally and, well, for me, physically.
She had heard about the program several years ago and asked her mom if she could work towards the goal of applying, which involved learning English. Her mom supported her 100%.
For me, as a little girl in Ukraine who doesn't have many opportunities, not more than my peers, it sounded like a dream and a fairy tale because, American dream, American movie. I got in and I was really happy, but I was not surprised because I believed in this all the time. That's what my goal is. When I'm going to something, I know that it will happen. I'm originally from Kherson. It is the south of Ukraine. The town is next to Crimea, which makes it dangerous. Right now, it is fully occupied by Russians. I really love my town. It is surrounded by two seas, Azov Sea and Black Sea. It is actually beautiful naturally. For me, my country and my hometown is my people. So right now, seeing all the news, how my town is being destroyed and how my people are being destroyed, and hearing that my friends, who were my really good friends, they're being killed because they're supposed to fight. They're 16 years old, so they are protecting my homeland and they are dying. My classmate, Anastasia, she told me what happened in the first day of war. She started hearing the bombs and the explosions, and her mom had a panic attack when Russians were dropping the bombs. She was saying goodbye to her life. Then they went to the basements. They're still there. Another classmate of mine, she lived with dad only. And when everything started, her dad, he was out of the town, not able to come home. So the girl, she spent just 1 week all alone in the basement. Right now, my family is my brother, my dad, and my grandparents. My mom died 2 years ago.
Last month, most of her family moved to a different state in Ukraine that they thought was safer, but the bomb soon followed. On the morning of this interview, Diana had finally been able to reach her brother for a 20-minute phone call.
Each minute, he was just terrified, and he was just quiet for a second because the Russians were exploding, and the bombs, because that's not something you get used to. My brother is 25 years old, so we have 9 years difference. And he is the dearest person for me. He is my best friend, even though he is much older. He is a truck driver. He has his own truck. He's been a bodybuilder for 5 or 6 years. So he was really experienced in it, and he was obsessed with sports. In my school, in my class, I think I was the weakest girl. PE was the most horrible thing for me ever, but my brother, he was always encouraging me to try boxing. I went to my first boxing workout with my sister-in-law, with his wife, and it is funny to remember right now because I could not handle any more than a warm-up. So the first 20 minutes of the workout and I was done. I just became pale and I couldn't breathe or anything, and people, it was funny for others. I don't like losing. And it made me so, hungry to just come back and just to take the revenge with myself. The feeling when you actually fight yourself and when you win the fight with yourself. It is the moment when you're proud, and it is addictive. It is addictive to win, and it is addictive to overcome your the obstacles and overcome your weaknesses. I always try to cheer myself up before I call him. And the same, he does the same. Our conversation is full of hopes and the future and when we'll be together again in the future. They will not tell me everything because they don't want me to worry about them, especially when they don't have the internet connection. And when you open the news and when you see that the actions are in the place they are staying in, and you just can't do anything. You cannot call them and ask if they are all right. You just hope that they will be alive. You cannot be weak, because it's not the time to be weak. It's not the time to make people feel sorry for you. It's the time to fight. So it will make me much harder, much tougher, and much more confident. Although, of course, it is hard to realize that I may not be able to come back to my hometown, which is where I lived for like my whole life. We still remember the stories our grandparents and great-grandparents tell us about the World War II and how they cry, how they suffer even while just telling it. Can you imagine how hard it is for them to like go through the same history twice? Especially those younger generation, the kids, what they will remember about their childhood is bombs, explosions, and hoping to get something to eat, seeing their moms sobbing and crying all the time. So it will be a great damage for people, and especially for younger generations. Men of 16 to 68 years old, they are not able to leave the country as they're supposed to fight. Even though my brother, he has some issues with health, so he cannot fight, but he also cannot leave the country. So what they're thinking is to send my grandma to Poland, for example, so I'm able to go there. But right now it's just ideas, it's just words, so we'll see what happens. I have a goal. It helps me.
One of them is to become the boxing champion of Ukraine. Another is to pursue a career as an interpreter. She is currently learning Spanish and Chinese and wants to attend a college in the US, more specifically, Harvard.
For me, sharing my story and sharing what's actually going on, it's my current purpose here. Ukrainians are really strong. I know that we are able to fight back. I know that we are able to fight for what is ours, for our homeland. But we actually need help. Help like just staying informed, donations, which is awesome. I believe that you are who your family is. The strength and the positivity was given me from my mom, because my mom is really the strongest person I've ever known. She was really sick for the last 3 years of her life. Even her last seconds, her last minutes when she was in pain, in big pain, and I could just see the smile on her face. And when she was able to still talk, and like what she told me was just, I love you and everything will be great, and like all those positive things. And you know, that's how I remember her, because that's what she was, and she's my actual role model and what I'm doing in my life. The last words I said to her is, I promise you'll be proud of me. So everything I'm doing in my life, just every step, every goal I'll achieve, is just to prove and to keep my promise and to try to be at least a little bit like my mom.